What's up everybody, Joseph Hadaway here. I don't want to waste a lot of time on this intro. I had a lot of fun making this video and I absolutely cannot wait to talk about it. Short, sweet, if you only get this far, don't scam people. Alright, let's hop right into it. It all started back a few weeks ago when my sister gave me a call. She had been apartment hunting and she found what she thought was the perfect apartment for her. The perfect rent, the perfect location, perfect neighbors, maybe even, I don't know, but you get the point. You know what you look for in an apartment. I was happy for her, but the process from her perspective was looking kind of weird. Now, she had found the apartment on Facebook Marketplace, which isn't a red flag in itself. Many individual landlords will list on Facebook Marketplace, but as she got talking to the supposed landlord or property owner, as he also sometimes referred to himself, it got weird. It got real weird fast. So she called me, asked me what I thought of it, asked me to look into it a little more, and I decided to follow the exact same steps that she did to see what I could figure out about this guy. Now, before we get into it, I want to go and say this is definitely a scam. Looking over the Facebook Marketplace posting alone, it's pretty obvious this is a scam. But this happens all over the country, all the time, probably even all over the world, and it's super simple to fall into, and you want to watch out for it. Before I tell you what the scammer did or anything, I want to tell you the basics of the scam. Basically what the scammer does is they find an apartment, a house, or whatever for rent, usually by an individual landlord rather than like a large company, and they steal those pictures, like the real professional pictures off, like Zillow, apartments.com, these actual vetted, reputable sites, and then they put them onto like, say, Facebook Marketplace, or somewhere like that where literally anyone can create a post. Then all the scammer has to do is wait for new potential tenants to come in. Once you get in contact with the scammer, they will claim to own the property, claim to be the landlord, and they're going to ask for an application fee, maybe a security deposit, at worst first month's rent, while also actively avoiding showing you the property because they know they can't. And in this guy's case, he was more than 2,000 miles away from the property he was showing. While those are all super valid expenses for renters to have, in this case, it's going to the scammer, not the actual landlord, and you got to be on the lookout for that. Now, in all truth, I could end this video here. We've identified the scammer, we've identified the scam, my sister didn't send him any money, we can move on, right? Well, I'm petty. So, I reached out to the lister, same as my sister did, and asked the generic Facebook Marketplace, is this available? Now, I'm blurring the lister's name here, and I'll explain why in just a moment for that. But after a little while, she did text me back with a number to text or call for more information on the property. Now, if you're ever in danger of falling for the scam, there's red flag number 1. I understand some people don't like using Facebook Marketplace, especially Facebook Messenger. I don't either. But no introduction or anything, just a generic call/text this number for more info. That is sus at best. But back to it, I set up a fake Google Voice number and texted the supposed landlord, and he introduced himself to me as Richard Jarvis. Now, a quick property tax search could have shown me everything I needed. No one by the name of Richard Jarvis owned any property in the city or even the county where this apartment was located. And besides that, I found the apartment on Zillow with the real owner and then the real estate management company, and neither of them had ever heard of a man by the name of Richard Jarvis. Red flag 2, if you even want to call it that. At this point, I think we're past flags and this is just screaming scam. So I started texting with, Mr. Jarvis, and the conversation was, well, sloppy to say the best. But he introduced himself as a private landlord. Maybe he's not the most professional person. Maybe I need to cut him some slack. Too bad though, we are just getting started. Pretty quick into our text conversation, he sent me the link to a JotForm application for the property, with the big point of the application being the $96 application fee that he was also asking for before we could even schedule a tour of the property. Now, that application fee was only payable through PayPal, Cash App, and specifically payment apps that do not let senders refund their money. Now, as we look through the rest of this application, Richard's name isn't on here. The address of the property isn't on here. I mean, this is all bare bones at best. I think even calling it bare bones is giving it too much credit. No contact info, nothing. But then again, private landlord, maybe I'm just holding him to too high of a standard. Maybe I'm trying to make a reasonable person out of him. But no, then we go back to the text and he kept reassuring me that he was legit and that the application fee was, and I quote, very much refundable. despite me never asking if it was or not. So, that'll, of course, build trust, isn't suspicious at all. Now, I could sit here and text this scammer all day, keep getting fake information and really taking up his time, but where does that actually get us? How do we resolve this? How do we, to at least somewhat, put a stop to this scam? Well, first up, my sister and I, through some mutual friends, were able to get in contact with the person who posted the Facebook Marketplace listing. I'll admit, I initially thought it wasn't a real person, because that's what these scammers do, but was surprised to find out this was actually a real person living in the local area. She told us what the scammer had done is reached out to her and said, hey, if you list this profile on Facebook Marketplace for me, then every time someone pays an application fee or whatever, I'll pay you a commission. All you have to do is list it and respond to messages telling them to text me. Once we let her in on the scam, let her know what was happening, she apologized profusely and immediately took the listing down. Step 1. Step 2, Mr. Jarvis was using a jot form for his applications. A free jot form. Now, one thing you may know about jot form is they do put a hard cap on the number of applications or form fill-outs before the form just shuts down, especially the free version. So it took about an hour of my time, but I flooded that jot form with so many fake applications that I crashed it. Step 2 done. Step 3, I got in touch with the real property owner and the Real Property Management Association and let them know about the scam and that someone out there was trying to scam potential tenants. And lastly, where do we go from here? Now that I've shut down the scam, there's still this scammer running out there. What keeps him from doing this again, at least? I mean, Richard Jarvis, there's no way that's his real name. He's using a fake name. How do we find him? So I started combing back through my texts with him to find any indication of this person's real whereabouts, name, anything. And I noticed something kind of strange. Going back in the early part of our conversation, he liked one of my text messages. Now, you can't like messages through Google Voice. So what was going on here? A little prodding and we found out that this scammer was using his personal iPhone to do the scamming. Couple reverse Google searches and suddenly we had his full name, his address, some photos of him, you name it, all at our disposal. So now, to speak to one person in particular, Stefan, you're sloppy. You know I found this information, you know it's out there, you know I'm not bluffing. Now though that I had this information in hand, I contacted his local police department to file a report, as well as the FBI's Internet Crime Division. At this point, I feel like I've done all that I should be doing, and it is in law enforcement's hands now. Back to talking to everyone though, this is a super common scam that this guy put $0 into and had theoretically unlimited profit. All he had to do was send some text. So it's common, it's out there, people are going to keep doing it, and unfortunately all we can do is try and take them down like this, one by one, occasion by occasion. So to all the renters out there, or potential renters, anytime you are looking at a property, double check all of the information you are told and sent. Make sure you are receiving information through legitimate channels. Again, apartments.com, Zillow, places like that are generally pretty reputable. And number 3, don't just send money to anyone randomly, especially through these payment apps like Zelle or PayPal, even if it is a private landlord. These fraudsters exist, like I said, all over the country, and they will not think twice about taking your hard-earned dollar from you. All of that said, you know what's not a scam? Subscribing to the channel. It's completely free, no payment needed. Hey, thank you all so much for watching, and CoffeeZilla, hit me up when we collabin'. That said, as always, follow me on Twitter, X maybe, whatever we're calling it this week, Instagram, all the fun social medias. And new announcing, check out my live streams, 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern Time every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Would love to have all you come hang out in the chat. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.